Hi everyone, welcome to Goodbye Deli. I'm Chris King.
Alexander Boyd.
Today we're having Game Rundown episode 10, where we're going to cover down the biggest topics of this past week, all related to next-gen gaming and all the kind of news that's coming out with that. So we're going to get right into it. We have a few topics to discuss, and we'll start with Alex as our host today.
Alright guys, okay, so our topic today, our first topic today is actually Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. I didn't read through this. Let's see, release dates. Is the final Metal Gear Solid? I didn't even know that.
Oh yes. I actually added.
Wow.
I forgot to add more notes. So
that's big news.
Yes, yeah.
So it's a final Metal Gear Solid. So that means that we could still go on to a different one, right?
Yeah. So let's break it down. So the first thing is the release date is September 1st, 2015. Cool. With that, it's a good release date. It's good. It's a good obviously summer. I think the only thing it's gonna have around it is Batman in June.
Yeah.
But that's still a pretty big gap between there. But it's definitely gonna set off that fall season for gaming, you know. So it's definitely much farther away from Call of Duty and all that kind of other games that come out in October and stuff. So I'm happy about that. But so yeah, Kojima has an interview, I believe it was with IGN. And they started to kind of ask him some different kind of questions related to the Metal Gear series, like what's going to be different, all this kind of stuff. And of course, they asked that age-old question: is this, it for you? And he says that, well, I've said that a bunch of times before, that this is going to be my last Metal Gear. He said that for like 2, I think Peace Walker. He said it for 4, maybe 3. I'm not really sure, but he said it for 4. And now we're at Metal Gear Solid 5, and he said this is going to end that Metal Gear saga. So he said it's possible that it will go into something different in the future, but I think this is the last one for me.
Interesting. Okay, so it's funny because you made a pun. You said age-old question because he is Asian, and I think that's what they're actually focusing on. They're actually making him older.
Yeah,
so,
I know it's strange. Yeah,
wait. In this one, he is even older from last one, right?
Well, yeah. When this one is it's Big Boss, so it's Snake's dad.
Got it.
Dad clone, if you know your Metal Gear stuff. Yeah.
You know your Metal Gear? Yeah,
it's crazy, but I don't know how I feel about this. I'm really split, because Metal Gear is one of my favorite franchises. It's in the top 3 for me, of all time franchises. Metal Gear Solid 4. Everyone has their own Metal Gear that they love. Metal Gear 1 or 2, whatever. But for me, Metal Gear 4 was kind of one of the greatest games I've played. It's just so awesome. Metal Gear Solid 5 looks like it's going to be, I think it's going to be Game of the Year contender, for sure, at least for us, So, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. Kojima's been with this series for like 27 years already.
Wow.
So, we know he's working on Silent Hills. There's a lot of different stuff that he can move on to. But I don't know. I'm kind of, I would have liked it to have ended with Snake, I guess they kind of already did it with Metal Gear 4. But I kind of would like the franchise to kind of die with Snake, or at least something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Until someone reboots it. Someone's going to reboot it after this.
Of course, that's happened. And it's going to be a film. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
There's just, no stopping it, because it's even very cinematic.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so moving on to the next topic is that Mad Max actually has a release date.
Also for September 1st, yeah. So I guess that's the one game that, Metal Gear is going to have to compete with.
Is this, I didn't even look into it. I remember I saw a trailer for Mad Max and it looked like, what is it, Fury Road or Road Fury?
Fury Road.
Fury Road. Do you think it's based on that, or is it based on the first Mad Max? Road Warrior.
It looks...
Second one, whatever.
It looks much more... I don't know how much I can say about Fury Road. I would just say that I saw some of it. Maybe I'm not going to tell you how much.
We can't talk about it.
Yeah, can't talk about that. But it's hard to say. It looks much more like Fury Road. I will say that much.
Okay.
We haven't really seen gameplay or anything like it though, so I'm kind of skeptical about is it really going to hit that release date? But I'm interested. I don't know. I think Mad Max really works well in the cinematic universe. It's kind of weird to see that game go into games, but these are the same guys who made Just Cause. So if it is literally just a skinned version of Just Cause, that would be perfect.
So for it.
Yeah.
I'm still into that world, but post-apocalyptic or even dystopian world. I wanted to Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
The latest one. I wanted that to be good, and I didn't like it.
Oh, I was with you. Yeah. When I first saw the trailers, I was like, man, I pre-ordered that game and I returned it in the same week.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Yeah, so I wanted to. hopefully it doesn't fall into that category, because it also seemed very wannabe Metal Gear. I think that's where they went wrong too.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So, Project Morpheus 2016. So, want to even say anything about it? That's really soon. Well, they've been working on Project Morpheus for a long time.
Well, let's get your thoughts first on this whole, now is, it's Oculus Rift, now there's Project Morpheus, and now there's,
the Valve one?
The Vive.
Vive, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's a partnership between HTC and Valve, so it's called the Vive.
Okay, so Morpheus is actually beating to the punch. Who's actually developing Morpheus?
It's Sony. It's PlayStation.
Okay, so it's a Sony one. That's kind of a hard one. They've been lacking in their world right now. I think it's too soon. For them, it's way too soon. I think that I would go for Oculus right now. I think Oculus has been in production longer, as far as I'm aware. But strangely, Oculus is focusing more on films than video games. So yeah. I guess this one's going to be more video game based. I'm happy that there's actually somebody who's dedicated to doing for video games rather than Oculus doesn't know where to go.
Exactly.
So I'm happy that Morpheus is doing that. But the thing is that I don't want to talk bad about Sony, but right now they have to focus on what they have right now and fix that rather than start sending out other things. Because we all remember the Move, the weird adult toy. Like that. What happened to it? Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? So like obviously they spew out these things and they're like, okay, never mind. So I think that's what Morpheus is going to be.
Yeah, it's weird because I kept thinking about this whole peripherals, especially like with cameras and stuff, and I was crediting it towards like Microsoft. But if you go back, I mean the first peripheral that had a camera was actually on the Game Boy, that I wish I had, and then I think I still have it somewhere. And then the second one was actually the iToy on the PlayStation 2. So that's actually where the inspiration for the Kinect came. And
where's the Virtual Boy in this?
Actually, yeah, that as well. Virtual Boy, we still credit with to Nintendo. So I mean, it's I don't know. They've been in this peripheral game for a long time, but I feel like they should know by now that we don't want peripherals. I just want one piece of hardware. I want as little cords as possible, and I want a controller. That's all I want. I don't need. To be honest, I don't even like headphones. I would rather have like really nice speakers that they would develop. These are the PlayStation speakers. You put them in your room for $200, and it links to your PlayStation. It will give you that perfect surround sound that a headset would. The camera, we're gonna improve the the speech recognition and stuff, and use it, and the mic will be even better. I'd be good with that. Having all these I don't want to play a Skyrim up here or whatever. I don't want to do that. I'd rather have it on a screen right there. You're not going to be able to play games for more than an hour and a half on it anyway.
Yeah.
I will say, I believe it will be the first on the market. I do believe that. I think it looks beautiful. The design is very, very awesome. But other than that, I'm not in. At least at this point, no way.
Yeah, and especially the price. We don't know the price yet, but it's a VR headset.
I think it'll be minimum at least $300.
Yeah, and another issue is games for it.
Exactly.
If we all remember the games that were Move compatible or even Kinect compatible,
even Wii compatible,
it just doesn't work.
They're garbage.
Yeah, they're always bad. Okay, so moving on. EA shuts down Maxis. They're the developers of SimCity. SimCity. I don't know why I said SimCity. SimCity since 1987, was it? Yeah, 1987. So. SimCity is actually huge. It's huge. So this is actually a big deal for a lot of people. I never got into it. Yeah. I got into. It was a SimCity a long time ago. I think it was Super Nintendo. I think that's where it was. One of them where they somehow had the rights to Godzilla or something, and they actually could build this nice town, which I always did. I always built a super nice town, and I'm like, hey, I'm bored. Let me destroy it. So there was that. I remember there was a point where they even somehow got the license for Bowser. And I made Bowser destroy the city because he's big as Godzilla for some weird reason. Good. But so how do you feel about this?
It's crazy. This one is a little bit more towards my nostalgia and stuff. I remember playing SimCity. I think it was 2000 on some old Mac that I had and that kind of stuff. And I love Maxis mainly because of the Sims. To me, I know a lot of people were SimCity people. I was much more a Sims kind of guy. I even had Sims, the Herbs, on Game Boy, if you guys remember that.
I don't.
So, it was really old. It was a really weird spin-off. It was like a Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, it's called Tamagotchi, because that's what I had.
No, yeah. Tamagotchi is crazy. But Maxis has been around for a very long time. But the question here is, will Sims live on? should Sims live on? We've heard from EA that the Sims franchise won't be affected, but we saw how bad Sim City was, the last one, that with the whole always online kind of stuff that they wanted to do, and how much of a failure. So it's crazy that they're shutting it down, but you know what? At this point, I don't really want another Sims. I thought Sims 2 was the best game out of the entire franchise. I would like just a remake of that, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think Sims they already hit everything already. They hit everything. They have hit every point. They did pets, they did dates, they did everything. So whole families and everything. So I think the only thing they're missing is fully customizable sim that I don't think has ever reached yet. Like, they have tons of things that you could do, but overall fully customizable. But I think the whole point of Sims is to actually control them. Rather than them.
I think that, and the thing about Sims is actually like a bigger picture, because of Sims, you had games and platforms like, PlayStation Home and that kind of stuff. You had, all these different kind of, things that were influenced by the Sims. And what I always wanted in my Sims game was you can actually control the person, like not just a click and point like the other games, but like Sims 2 where you can control the person and it was online, where you can you create your own house with your own characters and I can go visit you. That's what I always wanted. So if they could give that to a different developer, like that'd be really cool to see if that actually happens.
Yeah, so I guess it'll be a good thing. I think it's about time for it.
It's a niche, like there's a niche for it, but they have to figure it out.
Yeah, okay, so next topic is Sony has sold over 20.2 million PS4s. So they're still not above Xbox One right now, but... Oh, wait. They're currently making more money. I think Xbox One's a big seller right now, but actually PlayStation has beat.
Well, you mean monthly. Yeah, monthly. I think, I don't know if we got the numbers for February yet, but Xbox has won, I think November through January, I'm not really sure. But, I mean...
Since the price cut, yeah.
Yeah, because of the price cut. Everyone wants to take advantage of it, and I recommend it. Like I said already before, 2015 is the year for Xbox. It's not the year for PlayStation. I do expect PlayStation will continue to outsell Xbox by... My initial thing was 3-1. I think now it's going to... As we continue progressing, it'll be around 2-1. But I think that the PS4 will always have a leg over the Xbox One for this entire generation. Okay. But it's good to see that they finally hit that 20 million mark.
Milestone.
I don't know. I still think that the PS5 would have been a better move for them. This console so far is kind of collecting dust for me sometimes. But it's not really. But these games that are out are so mediocre. Alex is literally driving me crazy. Evolve, Assassin's Creed Unity, Dying Light, The Order. That's 4 games out of the past 5 games that have come out. The last one that I actually had fun with was, what was it? It was the game. I forgot. But it was
That's how important it is.
Yeah, not Watch Dogs. It was between Far Cry 4. That was the last game that I had fun with it. Not for $60. I would have liked it for $40, but that's the last game that was actually decent. So.
Yeah, not to take the flame from Sony, but also Xbox. It's just that Xbox has been sitting there. I remember the biggest game that I wanted to be big was Titanfall, and it flopped for me. I just didn't like it. I didn't care about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I guess I need a real game. I thought that Destiny was going to be the game.
Me as well. Yeah, I'm just waiting for Metal Gear. I'm waiting for Division.
Division is the one.
And Arkham Knight. Those 3 are the right hopefuls.
Okay. So next up, we got Final Fantasy HD Remake release date. You actually didn't place X2 as well, okay?
Yeah, well, I don't.
The most important one.
I just care about Final Fantasy X. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this for a second because it, to me, and I know you love Final Fantasy X as well.
Yep. 7, 10, then 8.
7, 10, then 8. For me, it's the second best Final Fantasy game. Next with 7, and for me, depending on my day, they always kind of go like this.
Yeah. Actually,
it's very reminds me of a lot about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, where although I credit Ocarina of Time with being a big game changer, Majora's Mask sometimes if you ask me the question, I will prefer to play maybe Majora's Mask one day or whatever. So for me, 10 though is one of those games where it is one of the best Final Fantasy games in my opinion.
I agree.
So I'm really excited that the HD remake is coming out. I think it's going to be. I skipped on PS3 because I didn't really want to play on PS3. It was very late in the life cycle, so I'm really excited that's going to be PS4. I think it's going to be so dope.
Well, yeah, Port Station
Yeah.
That's all it is.
You know what? Those games are better than the games that are coming out right now.
Sadly, it really sucks because I think that's what I forgot who it was. I don't think it was Tetsuya Nomura, but somebody said that they're not going to remake Final Fantasy VII until something beats it.
Yeah. So.
And they still haven't gotten there. So okay, so moving on, we got Rock Band 4 announcement for PS4, Xbox One in 2015 with hardware by Mad Catz. Mad Catz is actually doing the hardware. I always saw Mad Catz as a third party.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about this. Aims to allow you to use your old instruments and DLC songs. Most likely won't have sequels. Instead, it will be Rock Band platform that will add over the course of the console generation. That's something.
Yeah.
So, if I remember, they cannot do Beatles. No matter what, it doesn't matter if you bought the DLC for Beatles back then or the Beatles Rock Band, I think that they own the Rock Band. Like, they cannot do Beatles because of some copyright issues, and they're going to actually have problems with other copyright issues for these songs.
Yeah.
So, it really sucks because most likely, they are aiming for that, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, and just a disclaimer, this is going to be part of the rest of the video. It's going to be just Rock Band 4 because there's so much news to unpack with this. Just a note.
Oh, here we go. We're cutting out keyboard support, 2 Rock Band bundles, guitar bundle, and band box bundle. Okay, so go on.
Game Rundown episode 9. The title was the Return of Rock Band.
Yeah.
You know, so it's pretty crazy. We pretty much, you know, I mean, a lot of people had this kind of already called, but we pretty much accurately predicted Rock Band 4 was going to come. You know, I did not expect it this soon. That is really crazy. I mean, we've been right a lot of times anyway, so that's why you have to
always
keep watching
right.
it. But it's really crazy that it's coming out this soon. It's coming out 2015. More importantly, I obviously I think that they've been working on this for a long time. I think they've already known that they had this plan to bring it back, and I you know what, I love this. I love this, just everything about it. Because at first I was very, very skeptical. I think we both were. We know that with after Rock Band 2, it was pretty much over for us.
Yep.
You know, I didn't care about Rock Band Beatles or Lego Rock Band or Green Day or whatever. I just
Aerosmith.
For me, it died with Rock Band 2. You know, that was the end all game. But when you really look back at it, it is one of the best party games we've ever had in, you know, the history of gaming. Right up there with like Super Smash Brothers. Right up there with, you know, games like, you know, DDR that is also, you know, needs a revival at some point. But games like those that really change what, you know, these co-op kind of games can be, you know, really implemented a lot of the online kind of stuff for the PS3, Xbox 360, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited. More importantly, because of, we're going to get to all the stuff that you unpacked right there, but of how these developers announced it. They put out a 5-minute video. It's on YouTube if you haven't watched it. Which is like a behind the scenes of Rock Band 4. I send you the link, right? I love it. I love everything they said. They're just like, well, you know what? We know we made mistakes. We know that we kind of fell off the bandwagon. We found the faults in annualizing these games. It took them way too long to figure it out. We could have told them that from the beginning. But it's the same thing with Call of Duty that we've said for a long time. Annualization does not work. It doesn't work in any medium.
Assassin's Creed.
It doesn't work with, you know, games like Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Battlefield. It doesn't work in games. It doesn't work with movies. I don't want Batman 1, 2, 3, 4 all together. And it doesn't work with music. You know, annualization does not work. There's no way to put enough care and thought that would take, you know, someone to come up with a concept of 5 years. You can't do that same stuff every single year. It's impossible. At least 2 years minimum. 3 years is like the best kind of point, you know, for games. So let's hear your thoughts. For one, they're having some trouble with the DLC thing. I don't necessarily care because my account is on PS3 anyway. I have a different account for PS4, so I can't get all my DLC anyway. And all I really had was a lot of Queen, Killers, Nirvana, and I think Weezer, some other songs like that.
And even then, it would be nice to have the new songs. Like if that's what we're focusing on, anyways.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some old ones that you'll miss.
Yeah. But I mean, you can always. I mean, I know a lot of people spent like thousands, right? But we didn't spend more than like $100, so. It's not that much. I can always rebuy them if I really want to.
Yeah, okay, so I'm for this, obviously the revival of Rock Band. I've always loved weird music games. I was always very music-based. Played DDR like crazy.
Yes, you did.
Also, like...
Literally the best DDR guy I've known. Literally, yeah.
Yeah, I used to actually compete with people. It's
Yeah.
double pad even.
Yeah.
Anyways, so there was DDR. I think I even mentioned in the last video that you even had the DJ one. What was it?
DJ Hero, yeah.
DJ
yeah.
Hero.
Yeah.
I mentioned the one that I got from Japan with the keyboard. Like, I was really into that. Even when I had a Zune. Yes, I had a Zune. Okay, there was only 2 people in the world who had a Zune. It's me and Bill Gates.
And you had like the original one, and then you got the one with the screen.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, that Zune HD was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I was hesitant at first. I was like, it's looking more like Apple. Because
Yeah.
well, they always look like Apple, even the old one. But anyways,
music, right? It's just music.
for the Zune HD, I even had a game called Audio Surf, which is awesome. Which I still want them to create it anywhere else. I don't know if they have it in platform. I doubt it. I never looked for it because why would I do this? I like doing it while I'm walking or on the bus or whatever I'm doing. So Audio Surf was cool because you put in your music, you listen to your music, and it just calculates, and you could actually do the beats.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's like really smart. And I think they could do this. Well, anyways, back to Rock Band. I'm for this. Again, you mentioned the last video, which is clunky stuff. Like, we need to find a way. Mad Catz, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't feel Mad Catz is up there. Like, I want Apple to work on this stuff so you could fold it up and make it into a nice little cube.
I mean, when you look at it from one perspective, at least you know that Mad Catz is like the biggest peripheral. Like, they make, if you're gonna buy a knockoff controller, like you're gonna buy a Mad Catz or you're gonna buy like a whatever. Like, that's kind of the other one. Like, that's the only one that's actually legit. Like, you know. So I'm okay with it, with the peripherals. I think it's better than the last guys who were like Red Octane or whatever. Like, I never heard of them in my life. So I think that's a move up, actually, if anything.
Who are the ones who make the glowing one?
The what? The glowing one?
Glowing anything. They make glowing headsets, they make glowing,
I was gonna say Astro.
what's it called?
I don't know, but they're like at every, you know which one I'm talking about. Yeah, I should know because I worked in retail stores that sold them for like a year. So
well, then they could make it. I want some glowing. Like, I want to hit my drums and they glow.
This is my one problem with this whole situation is that they mentioned that all your instruments are going to be compatible. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The problem with that is that they already mentioned that we can't design new ones because we want to let everyone. So we have to cut out some features that we want to do in order to be able to use all the old kind of instruments.
I am against that.
I'm against innovation being hindered. Like,
Yeah.
it always should be, the innovation should come first. But I'm okay with it for now because, again, this is one platform. That's another thing we have to get to. I know it's going to be a long discussion for this, but with that whole kind of thing, I think that, maybe 2 years into this, they'll probably put out some really, really nice kind of products. So, and if this works the way I think it'll work, I wouldn't mind putting out another, $50 to buy an insurance. But again, I don't have the space to carry that kind of stuff. Yeah. But they have 2 bundles already out the gate that we mentioned. It's the game and the guitar, and there's a game with the game, guitar, drums, and mic.
Yeah.
One guitar, drums, mic, like the original one. I'm already gonna say it. I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it just because I believe that Rock Band can be that game that is like, I don't know, like Smash. You put out one per generation, and it lasts with you the entire cross generation. That's what they should.
Doing that with this.
That's another thing. Yeah. Okay. That is innovation. That's what we just talked about. The fact that I said that Call of Duty should just be Call of Duty. Call of Duty for PS4, and every year you add expansion packs and you add different modes and you add different games. You add new weapons, stuff, and it's just this massive Call of Duty app. Same thing that Halo should do on the Xbox. So I love it. I think more people should do that. Assassin's Creed should take note. Call of Duty should take note. Battlefield should take note. Sports games should take note. There should be just one FIFA for the PS4, one FIFA for the PS3, where you just every year you upload the new stats, you kind of tweak it, updates and stuff.
But what if you wanted to play the old one? Like you even mentioned it earlier that Rock Band 2 is good, and then Rock Band.
I think that they said they're going to support those legacy deals, at least the ones that they can. Right?
Yeah, but I mean like FIFA. Like, let's say I don't want to play this new FIFA. I don't want to play 2013 one.
It's very rare.
I missed 2013.
I know. Yeah, it's kind of rare that some of those games are better. I think like my favorite NBA. I think it's still like '98. I think just because I like the way that it controlled. It was very very simple. So that's a good point. But I think that you just have to kind of
deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. Like the controls are going to constantly just kind of be tweaked, and again, leave the same maps. That for FIFA it's different, but I think that you just kind of allow it to just kind of constantly just kind of be tweaked, you know.
Yeah, but then that also will include a terabytes hard drive, so it's a bunch of things.
It's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah. So I mean, but I think Rock Band is gonna at least pave the way for that kind of stuff, which is interesting. So I'm freaking pumped. You know, like I think it's gonna be good. Like I'm excited. They mentioned that music never dies, so you can watch it Rock Band. So I agree.
It's like fashion, just keeps going.
It just keeps going.
It keeps changing. Okay. So anything else you want to talk about Rock Band?
No, I will just say one thing is that I hope that they add more genres. You know, as much as I love rock because it's my second, well, you know, it's tied with hip hop. I want to see more genres kind of be mixed. You know, especially a lot of these other new, let's say, rappers are being very like Childish Gambino. A lot of his are live instruments. You know, Kendrick Lamar, I saw him live as well. He has a lot of live instruments. So I feel that they should work with a lot of different genres. You know. I don't listen to country, but throw in country, like throw in some light hip hop. Like I would love to see different kind of genres.
Yeah, and finally, we're giving money back into music, which it's not happening right now. Like everybody's not buying CDs. Some people buy vinyls, which is nice, but we need more money to music because right now everything is streaming. So so luckily here they could actually like license music. So there is some money going back to your favorite artists that could keep creating music. And
it's possible. Just one last thing. Do you think that Rock Band 4 should be a one price kind of a game, like $60, or should it be a subscription kind of fee?
Interesting. I didn't think of that subscription because that would be pretty cool too. But that'll be. I'm assuming it's going to be the core game, then just DLC. Yeah, just constantly changing it up. It's just some DLC was bigger than others, so this was just a skin.
Because if you did a fee, like I mean, I wouldn't want to pay more than $2 a month. Maybe you can get all those songs for free, you know, like a streaming service. But I think it's too complicated. Because I was saying that you can do the same thing with Call of Duty. Like instead of paying for every single DLC that comes out, you just pay $2 a month and you get everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an upgrade by itself.
But at least that way you can, if you just have the DLC, you can pick and choose. Because I don't want to have a lot of music that's there. I want to have the one that I like. You know?
Yeah, because unless it's like something that just keeps adding to it, like I'm currently in subscription for Adobe Photoshop, and in Photoshop it just only gets better.
Yes.
Yeah, so like that makes sense to have subscription instead of paying this large amount of money at once. So because it keeps changing.
Yes.
So in this one, like it's gonna be a choice. There's gonna be like, I like this music better than this music. Oh nope, it's gone, it's gone. Stick to the new stuff. Right now, we need Miley Cyrus is big. We need Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I don't know, it's gonna be crazy, but I'm excited. So, so you guys, heard everything that we broke down for Rock Band, and all this kind of news every week, game rundowns. So you're already in the right place. Goodbye, Deli.